So I recently moved into a neighborhood. Well, last year I moved into this neighborhood. And when I got there were tons and tons of stray cats. And I don't know if they were feral or if they belonged to somebody. I just know that they hung out in my front yard. They hung out in my backyard. They still do. And I didn't know who they belonged to, but I just knew that there was a whole bunch of cats. And I feel like the way that they were just hanging out, like they owned the place, that they had been there for a while. So I never bothered the cats. But let's say, for example, I, decided to build a fence. And let's say that I may, have gotten this fence and electrified it. So if I had what's called rigid boundaries, then I would always keep my fence closed and no one would be able to get into my yard. Now, if I had what's called diffuse boundaries, then I would always keep the fence door open to my fence and allow all the cats in, and everybody else who wanted to come into my yard, I would just let them in. So if I had healthy boundaries, then I would keep my fence closed, but I would put a sign on my fence that said, no trespassing, or, keep off the grass, or, no cats allowed, or something like that. So I would have to communicate what the boundary was. And in that way, that would give me an opportunity to open the door to the fence as I please, open and close the door. So it would be a boundary that I was able to manipulate if I needed to, by allowing things in and allowing things out. Now, what I notice when I'm working with people regarding boundaries is that they believe that avoidance is establishing a boundary, and it's not. It is avoidance. Boundaries have to be communicated in some way, shape, or form. So going back to my fence example, if, let's say, one of the cat's owners found out that their cat came close to my electrified fence, but they didn't know that the fence was electrified and their cat got injured, then I would probably face some type of liability because I didn't communicate that this was an electrified fence and that, people should maybe stay away from the fence. So basically, I just went in my house and closed the door and just acted like nothing was going on. So that's essentially what avoidance is. It's not establishing a boundary. It's ignoring the communication that needs to happen to establish a boundary. So please understand that if you ignore somebody, you're not establishing a boundary. You're just ignoring them. You're avoiding the conversation that needs to happen for a boundary.